What's up guys, my name is Stoody. I'd like to welcome you all back to another video. And in today's video I'm going to be doing my AFL Round 1 tips for the 2025 AFL season. Before we get into this week's tips, let's go ahead and see how it went last week. So last week I got 2 out of 2 tips correct. So I tipped Sydney to defeat Hawthorn, but that game was rigged, so it does count as a correct tip. And then I tipped the GWS Giants to defeat Collingwood. So that means I have 2 tips to start off the season. So let's just go ahead and get into round 1. Now, for the first game on Thursday night, we have Richmond taking on Carlton at the MCG. I will be at this game. So looking forward to going to this game. I think there can definitely be an upset on the cards here, round 1 upset. There usually is a couple of upsets in round 1. But let's just be real. Match fixing, Carlton are a protected team. Richmond are the team that gets robbed more than any other team in the AFL. So I'm going to tip Carlton in this one by 25 points. I think it'll be a reasonably close game, but I'm sure the match fixing will get involved and will rob Richmond in the end. Moving on to Friday night, we have Hawthorn taking on Essendon at the MCG. Obviously, I won't be watching this because it's on a work night. I got the Friday off. That's the only reason why I'm able to go to the Richmond Carlton game. But I'm going to be tipping Hawthorn in this one by a rigged amount. Let's just be real, Essendon are clearly the better team. But Andrew Dillon and the AFL will do whatever they can to make sure Hawthorn win this one. It's going to be a shit game, just full of match fixing. And thank fuck I can't watch it because it's going to be a shit show. Anyway, moving on to Saturday now. Saturday afternoon, we have Geelong taking on Fremantle at GMHBA Stadium. I'm going to think Fremantle in this one by 14 points. I just think Fremantle are the best team in the league this year. They just have a very talented team. No real weaknesses, really. Whereas Geelong, they're aging. They're too old, too slow. And I'm sure that will certainly show on Saturday. And Fremantle should be able to get the job done at GMHBA. I think the 89% or so that tip Geelong are complete idiots and know absolutely nothing about football. Fremantle will get the win here, and they will have to defy match fixing, but I think they can do it. I think they're the clearly better team. Geelong have one of the worst midfields in the competition. Fremantle have one of the best, so Fremantle should destroy Geelong in the midfield and should win it. It'll be reasonably close because it's at GMHBA and because of the match fixing, but I think Fremantle will be too good in the end. So moving on to Saturday twilight, we have Sydney taking on Brisbane at the SCG. I'm going to tipping Sydney in this one by 22 points. Sydney will be pissed off after getting severely robbed in the grand final last year, so they'll be looking for revenge against the team that robbed them. So Sydney would come out firing at home and will get the job done against Brisbane. Sydney will also be very pissed off after getting robbed just last week against Hawthorn. Just Sydney has just been getting fucked over quite a lot lately. So surely this time around, Sydney will be able to defy the match fixing and defeat Brisbane. How good will it be to see that? Moving on to Saturday night, we have the Western Bulldogs taking on North Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to be tipping the Western Bulldogs in this one by just the 2 points. The Western Bulldogs have a lot of injuries going into this game, so I wouldn't be surprised if the North Melbourne do pull off a pretty big upset in round 1. And they'll have the match fixing on their side, North Melbourne. They're one of the most protected teams in AFL history. They have the 2 dirty dog divers in Larkey and Sherry, 2 of the biggest cheats in AFL history. But I'm going to tip the Bulldogs because, it's risky to go north, especially in round 1. I mean, you don't want to be on the back foot in the tipping too early. I've already gone one game against the grain. Don't need to go another because I think probably 99% would tip the Bulldogs in this. But I'm tipping the Bulldogs because fuck North Melbourne. Richmond have North Melbourne's first round pick, so we need North Melbourne to lose. The Western Bulldogs usually are a good team. The main thing I worry about is the fact that they do have a depleted midfield in this game. And North's midfield isn't the worst, even though they're a terrible team overall. They do have an okay midfield, so yeah, that's what does worry me, especially since the Bulldogs, their weakness is their defense. So a bit of a worry, but I'm tipping the Bulldogs safer option. The other Saturday night game, I might go to this game. I don't know yet. But we've got Collingwood taking on Port Adelaide at the MCG. I'm going to win Collingwood in this one by 57 points. Collingwood just simply have the wood over the wannabe Collingwood Port Adelaide. I just think Collingwood will be way too good. They'll be looking to bounce back from their smashing in opening round. So I think they'll smash Port Adelaide. They do have a tendency to smash Port Adelaide. So I think they'll smash them because Collingwood will be much harder, whereas Port haven't played yet this season. Collingwood a bit of an advantage there, I think. So Collingwood will be too good for Port. I think Collingwood are clearly the better team. Port don't have Zach Butters, and it's a question mark whether Collingwood have Nick Dacos or not. I don't know what his injury is, but I don't think it'll matter. I think Collingwood will still give Port Adelaide an old-fashioned flogging at the MCG on Saturday night. Moving on to Sunday afternoon. Shit, this is a really early game, 12:35. We have Adelaide taking on St Kilda at the Adelaide Oval. I'm going to Adelaide in this one by 27 points. This is an awkward sort of game. I feel like both teams are on similar sort of levels. Not good enough to make the 8, but not bad enough to be bottom 4, that sort of thing. Sort of stuck in the middle sort of thing. But I think Adelaide are better. And because it's in Adelaide, I think Adelaide win this one. I think Adelaide will have like a way better season than St Kilda because Adelaide have a really easy fixture this year. So that's why I had Adelaide 9 for my ladder predictions. A lot higher than most people would have had them. But I think they beat St Kilda. St Kilda, I just don't rate that highly. I mean, St Kilda on their day can win this, but I just think the safer option is Adelaide, and it's at home. And most people have tipped Adelaide, so yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. Just go Adelaide, the safe option. The other Sunday afternoon game, we have Melbourne taking on the GWS Giants at the MCG. I'm going to be the GWS Giants in this one by 24 points. I do not rate Melbourne at all. I think they're definitely a bottom 4 team in 2025, whereas GWS are clearly a top 4 team. So if they do have a healthy team in Melbourne, I think they'll at least challenge GWS. That's why it's only a 4-goal margin, I think. And because it's at home for Melbourne, I think they'll at least be competitive. But the Giants, they've got bigger fish to fry. They'll take care of Melbourne in the end and will leave the MCG victorious. In their opening round game, they were on fire. So I'm expecting that to continue going into round 1. And the Sunday night game. Why the fuck do they have a Sunday night game? They're lucky I don't work Mondays these days. So we have West Coast taking on Gold Coast at Optus Stadium. I'm going to do Gold Coast in this one by 11 points. To be honest, I reckon Gold Coast will win like 2 away games this year, and this will be one of them, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised if West Coast do win this game. Because it is Gold Coast, they're terrible away from home. West Coast are definitely the worst team in the league, but I mean, this is a game they could win, so yeah, West Coast will be on their game, so that means Gold Coast need to be on their game too. I mean, I did consider tipping West Coast, but it's way too risky because pretty much everyone has tipped the Gold Coast in this. I think it's like 80-20 in favour of the Gold Coast. But if the Gold Coast really are a serious threat this year, they'll win this game, 100%. If Gold Coast are any good, they win. If they lose this, then that's pretty much curtains for their season. The chances of making finals are basically 0 if you can't beat West Coast. Like, you have to be able to beat West Coast, and they should do it easily, really. But I don't think they'll do it easily. I think they will win, but I think they'll struggle, and that's because I don't think they're a top 8 team. Those are my tips for round 1 of the 2025 season. Feel free to leave your tips in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment like this. Be sure to become a channel member. Just click the join button next to my name. Also, be sure to subscribe to my premium King Goals of Nick. Link to his channels in the description. Also, be sure to subscribe to my other YouTube channels. Be sure to subscribe to my podcast channel, King Snakes of Stoody. Also, be sure to subscribe to my second YouTube channel, Stoody Archives. Links to both of those are in the description. Also, be sure to join my Discord server, East Coast Australian Sports Community. Link to that is in the description. Also, be sure to follow me on my other social media accounts. I have Twitter, and also have TikTok. The username for all those is StoodyYT. Links to all those will also be in the description. I hope you had a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.